Hello, all you crypto aficionados, and let's talk about today's crypto news. BlackRock has shunned China. Somehow Xi Jinping must have pissed off the Illuminati, or they just see that China is no longer profitable. BlackRock was very bullish on China, but now it's just turned an about face in the last few days. Obviously, there were several questions about its ethics, but we know BlackRock, like all fat cats, doesn't really care about ethics. So basically, BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with 9.4 trillion in assets, has dramatically reversed its pro-China stance in the recent days. They're actually issuing warnings about the Chinese economy, which they should have honestly done a while ago because the Chinese economy is in a really, really sorry state. It's probably going to go down in the next few years. The asset manager may be pulling back from China out of well-grounded macroeconomic concerns, but given the considerable fear, uncertainty, and doubt that its engagement with China stoked in recent weeks, more cynical observers may view the pivot as face-saving. So, obviously, people were questioning their ethics, and they may just want to save face. Which one it is, I'm not really sure, but either way, does not bode well for China. On Monday, the asset manager downgraded its rating of China stocks from neutral to overweight. I think China stocks right now would almost be in the catastrophic category, with its sagging economy and no way to fix its internal problems. The problems in China are like 10 times worse than the United States, and they just don't really have the economic activity because China, unlike the US, is not a consumer economy, and they completely depend on the West to generate jobs and also to basically power their country through exports. And this is kind of the reason why the Elder Council is thinking about kicking Xi Jinping out, because Xi Jinping is not making too friendly with the West. So US lawmakers have devoted increasing attention in recent months to instability in China's heavily credit-based real estate sector. We talked about how the shadow banking sector in China is pretty much like folding, and that's $3 trillion down the drain. Not really something that's that easy to actually recover from. Of course, like yesterday, China took the drastic step of detaining some members of Evergrande staff after many missed payments on the conglomerate's debt. So Evergrande, we know, I think crashed early this year or late last year, and they're kind of taking action towards it. And of course, they're trying to kick the can down the road, but realistically, it's not only Evergrande, the entire retail estate sector in China is really in a lot of trouble. So, BlackRock wanted to make a lot of money in China, but I personally think that it might be to save face, but I don't think BlackRock would actually care that much if they saw a lot of opportunity in China, but the current economic factors in China are just really, really bad right now. So BlackRock is probably primarily pulling out because they don't really see money in China anymore, and they could actually be investing in a losing country at this point. So BlackRock has completely shunned China, and it might just be because Xi Jinping pissed off the Illuminati, but it's more likely that China's situation is just really, really bad, and they don't really want to be part of it anymore. IMX had a major pump, but it actually might be time to sell. Why? Well, their major pump, they pumped up 31, 32% because they actually listed on Upbit. And what do we know about Upbit? Upbit is a major, major pump and dump exchange. They pump and dump, especially XRP, but many other tokens, including VET as well. Any kind of Upbit pump generally retraces within the next few days. If you're holding IMX long-term, that's fine. I think IMX is a really, really good coin, especially in the gaming sector. So if you're doing long-term hold, I think it's fine. If you're doing a short-term trade, I would think about selling out because it just got listed on a pump and dump exchange, and they are pumping and dumping it. Make no doubt about that. So if you're looking to sell, get some profits with IMX, it'd be a decent time to sell now after such a big pump. You do risk out on losing more pump, but I do think it eventually will retrace as all Upbit pumps retrace. MTGOX's payment deadline has been extended 1 year to 2024. Originally, it was 2023, so there might be some put off of dumping. I personally don't think the MTGOX thing is going to dump the crypto thing that much because everyone basically opted to get their money in coins more or less and not really in cash. So I think a lot of these guys are actually holders. So MTGOX trustee Nabuki Kobayashi has officially changed the deadline for paying back the exchange's creditors from October 31st, 2023 to October 31st, 2024. In a September 21st letter, Kobayashi wrote, with the permission of the Tokyo District Court, he had extended the deadline for base payment, the early lump sum repayment, and intermediate repayment. Not too bad. Additionally, Kobayashi explained that for the rehabilitation creditors who have provided the necessary information, repayments will be made in sequence as early as the end of this year. Please note that the schedule is subject to change, so they could actually change it again. But basically, if you were afraid of an October 31st basically dump, it has been postponed a year to October 31st, 2024. Like I said, I don't expect MT Gox to be any kind of real dump. I think the mechanics have actually been worked out, and I don't think most people are just going to sell off all the coin. The MT Gox estate, however, does hold 142,000 Bitcoin, 143,000 Bitcoin cash, and 69 billion Japanese yen. And of course, this is to pay back something that happened about 10 years ago, and that's still lingering around crypto. So maybe this will actually pump coins because people were afraid that the deadline was approaching this year, and now it's going to be pushed back here, and they might actually push it back even more in the time to come. So there is not going to be a dump from MT Gox anytime soon. Not that there was ever really going to be a dump from MT Gox. Crypto has actually gained steam in Nigeria, home of famous Nigerian princes, and it's because the economy in Nigeria is basically going in the crapper, and their currency is not worth very much right now. Kind of like Zimbabwe with their $1 trillion bills. But Nigeria is turning to crypto as the currency crisis deepens. Nigeria doesn't really have too much access to the US dollar, so they need an alternative, so they're going to crypto. And crypto trading volume in Nigeria leads the sub-Saharan region and amid worsening economic conditions in the region. The worse your economy is, the less dependable your own money is, the more the people are going to turn to crypto because that actually has more value than your own money. And if they hold crypto, they might be able to buy more stuff the next day rather than holding your own money. So if your country is turning to crypto for a form of currency, it generally means your country's going down the shitter. I know it's not a really great outlook to crypto, but there are a lot of countries that are kind of going down the shitter, and they can definitely surge up crypto volume. So basically, cryptocurrency adoption in Nigeria leads the sub-Saharan region, and Nigerian authorities are warming to digital assets because they see it as a way to save their own ass because their currency obviously isn't going to save their own country, so crypto might be the answer. And this is why I've said crypto's main use case adoption is actually going to be in small third world countries, not really so much in first world countries where the economy is actually fairly stable despite what you might actually think has happened over the last few years. We don't really have hyperinflation to any extent, and I do actually believe that we obviously have inflation of 5-6%, maybe 8-9% last year. It's come down to 4 or 5 this year, and it'll continue to come down through the subsequent years. That's something that people can actually handle. Whereas hyperinflation in Nigeria can be 50% a day, and that's not something that people can handle. When you have that kind of hyperinflation, people are going to rush into crypto, and crypto adoption is going to soar. So if you actually look at sub-Saharan countries in Africa, countries by cryptocurrency received, you see that Nigeria is 60 billion. And of course, it massively leads all the countries. South Africa is second, Kenya is third, and Mauritius is fourth. So I do think a lot of the sub-Saharan African countries will basically make the crypto the de facto currency of choice because of their economy, which is not stable at all. You might actually see it in some Latin America countries too, but Nigeria could actually be the first country where crypto is the official currency, even though it's not named the official currency. I do actually think there is a good chance that crypto will be the official currency of a lot of the African countries just because their own currencies are not stable. And that would be a huge win for crypto, as it would prove that Bitcoin or any other crypto can actually provide that service for countries that are not stable and save the people out of a lot of turmoil. Grayscale has killed Ethereum POW. Remember when Ethereum forked to POS? There was a branch that stuck with a Ethereum POW. They said it was going somewhere. Well, Grayscale has destroyed their dreams. And they've basically thrown in the towel. And they've finally given up, which they should have actually done a while ago. So massive returns are possible within this market. So basically, Ethereum, Grayscale Investments officially relinquished its rights of the post-merge proof-of-work Ethereum, known as ETH POW. It was always doomed to destruction, obviously, but it's finally died finally. In a statement released on September 18th, Grayscale clarified that after comprehensive analysis, it was evident that Ethereum POW tokens lacked substantial liquidity. Moreover, the custodian of the projects was not in favor of these tokens. So obviously, if you're the custodian and you're not in favor, tokens definitely in trouble. The development is particularly noteworthy, especially with the upcoming Benzinga Future of Digital Assets conference on November 14th, where such industry shifts are likely to be a topic of discussion. I don't think this one's really that big. I don't really think that many people expected Ethereum POW to really go anywhere. So I just don't really see it being that big of a deal. Maybe I'm wrong and it will be, and they will see it as big of a deal. I just don't really see it. Of course, Grayscale's move to forego the rights of ETH POW tokens followed the significant event known as the Ethereum merge, which took place about this time last year. So Ethereum POW is completely dead as Grayscale has cut them loose. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.